Predicting the future isn't magic, it's artificial intelligence. This is a very famous quote by Dave Waters, and I don't think there is a better way for me to kick off this presentation than by mentioning this quote. A very good morning, a very good afternoon, and a very good evening to everyone who is listening to this presentation across the globe. This is Aishwarya Ramesh Nagarajan, and I work as a security operations engineer for the GRC team at Cloudflare. And it's my immense pleasure to take the next 15 to 20 minutes to walk you all through on this fascinating topic, leveraging artificial intelligence for security compliance. So, with no further ado, let's get started. So this is what the next 15 to 20 minutes is exactly going to look like. I'm going to start this presentation by giving a brief overview on what is GRC, and followed by that, I'm going to navigate you all through what is considered to be one of the very interesting problem in the GRC space. And this is also something that we encountered at Cloudflare. And interestingly, we also found a solution for it. So I'm going to walk you all through the problem, the solution we found for the problem, a sneak peek on the technical architecture and how we built the solution, followed by the conclusion note. And at the end, the floor will be open for questions and comments. I'm extremely excited to present this topic, so I just can't wait. Let's get started. Okay, to begin with, what is GRC? GRC has a very prominent role in security team as such. GRC stands for Governance, Risk, and Compliance. And the major responsibility for the GRC team is to make sure that the company's security standards align with the industry-wide security standards, security laws, and privacy regulations. So we can definitely see that this team has a lot of responsibility and a lot of things to do and have a very interesting and an important role in the security team. But a very interesting thing to also note here is that a company and the GRC team as such does not just maintain these different standards and different certifications like PCI, SOC 2, FedRAMP, and so on to improve the security posture. I mean, one major reason is that, but the other major reason is all these different certifications and adherence to these different certifications are going to help improve the customer trust, and thereby it's going to improve the sales of the product. And at Cloudflare, we give utmost importance to customer trust and our customers. And that is one of the very main reasons for us to have a dedicated team called as a sales enablement team to basically take care of all our customer needs. And we take pride in actually saying that. So jumping back to this topic, so we can definitely see that the GRC and the sales team have a very prominent role in basically the sales of the product. And more importantly, these two teams works hand in hand on a day-to-day basis to basically solve a lot of compliance questions that they get from our customers. So they have tons of interactions on a day-to-day basis. So this is pretty good, right? I mean, this is so far so good. Like everything is perfect. So what is the real problem here? So when we actually started understanding on like how to improve our different GRC processes and started like deep diving on where we can automate our GRC processes, we thought like this is a potential area for improvement because we found this very interesting problem. So this is a sample on how our customer sales and our GRC teams interact on a day-to-day basis. So here you can see we are getting a question from our customer saying like, hey, is Cloudflare PCI certified for Workers product? And by the way, Workers is one of our very famous Cloudflare products. So if you haven't checked it out, please do check it out. So going back, so we have this query from our customer, and this is kind of like going to the sales team, and the sales team is like, okay, so let me check with the GRC team to make sure that if we are certified, if you're PCI certified for this project. So the sales team basically takes this conversation with the GRC team and asks them, and the GRC team are the experts. So they are kind of like responding to this query, and that's going to sales, and the sales team are basically going and saying that answer or response to the customer. So this is like an interaction that's happening on a day-to-day basis. And a very interesting thing is this is just one interaction, and there are hundreds and thousands of interactions like this on a day-to-day basis, which means the GRC team has tons of compliance questions from our customers to solve. But a very interesting thing or a problem that we found after a lot of analysis is a lot of questions that we get from a sales team are repeated. So here is kind of a model. So if you see in this model, we can see that, okay, the sales team is basically having these different questions and they are putting it in the chat room 1 and 2. By the way, in Cloudflare, the sales and the GRC team uses chat room or the Google chat as one of its primary medium for communication. So the sales team is basically putting this question of like, oh, hey, are we PCI certified? And we can actually see that we have had this question like thrice out of the 8 conversations. So we can definitely see that these repeated questions are kind of a concern for us. And the most important part is that we need a 24/7 human support to answer these repeated and redundant questions. So we thought like this is a very serious problem and a serious concern in general to our team and in the GRC industry. And that's when we really looked at each other and said, Eureka, we found the solution, which is nothing but NLP, natural language processing. So AI to the rescue. So the solution that we actually proposed and built to solve this problem is basically a bot. We thought like, okay, so we are getting tons of repeated data and we don't need a human to basically answer these repeated questions. And instead a bot can answer all these redundant data or these redundant questions. And for the questions that the bot doesn't know, the interaction can basically move to our GRC experts in the team. And that was really our proposed solution that we built for this problem using artificial intelligence. So now you can see like when the customer asks the question goes to the sales team and the sales team basically asks a bot. The bot answers the question and it comes back. So the flow is like if the bot doesn't know, it's going to go to our GRC team. And that is kind of the solution we had for this problem. And it was awesome. So now we had a problem. We now have a solution, which is amazing. So now it's going to be the technical architecture or how we really built the solution for this problem. Okay, so this is basically a big picture on how we built the solution for this problem. So you can see that the agent bot is nothing but the brain of the chat bot. And we built this chat bot over our GCP or Google Cloud Platform. And you can see that the chat bot contains a lot of different modules in it to perform this functionality. So obviously, what is the functionality of the bot? The bot is going to get the questions from the sales team. It's going to process the questions that it gets, which is nothing but an input to the bot. And once it processes the different keywords in the input, it's going to basically come up with an answer. So that's what the bot is created for. And it runs on GCP and it uses Google Chat API to basically communicate with the Google Chat application, which is one of the very predominant mediums where the GRC teams gets like questions from the sales teams. So when we actually deep dive into the bot's architecture, this is how it looks. This is again a very, very, very high level of the bot's architecture. So you can see that the agent bot is again the brain of the bot. You can see that it's receiving an intent, which is nothing but a user input, which is again nothing but questions from a sales team. So it's receiving that input. And once it receives that input, it does intent matching, which is nothing but it extracts the keywords from the input or the question that it's receiving, and it's comparing with a training phrase or a training database that we already have. So once it receives an input from the sales team, it's going to ask itself on if that data is sufficient or if anything else or if any more inputs is actually required from the sales team. So that's kind of the action or parameter. So once it does all these things and believes that it does not require anything else to perform any action, it's going to be like, okay, so I have an input and I need to check whether this matches with the set of data that I already have, which is nothing but the training phrase. So it's going to basically go and check if it has a keyword matching. If it comes with a keyword matching, it's going to have a response, so it's going to come up with a response. So that's kind of like how this bot functions. And with respect to the technical piece is concerned, we have the bot program running in our GCP compute engine. And we have the training phrases, which are nothing but the set of all the compliance questions stored in our Google Cloud storage. And there are two common questions that we get here. The first common question is, did we get this bot from an external vendor? And the answer is no. We built this bot from scratch. And the second question that we get is, how do you really train the bot, or how do you basically have all those compliance questions in the Google storage, or in the cloud storage, or in the training phrases databases? Like, our team basically worked together to basically come up with a lot of compliance questions that we normally get, and that's how we basically kind of train the bot. So if my team members are seeing this at Cloudflare GRC team, you guys did an amazing job. So thank you very much for that. So that's how the bot kind of matches with the training phase, and that's how we really train the bot. And once there is a match, it's going to respond in the Google chat room, as you see. And again, the stakeholders are going to be the sales team. They're going to receive, and they're going to go to the customers with the answer. So that's kind of how this bot functions, and that's kind of a very high level technical picture of this bot. So breaking pieces, this is just a sample on how this works. So are we PCI certified is basically a question that we get from the sales team, and the bot extracts the different keywords, puts all the different permutations and combinations to come up with a keyword matching, asks itself, hey, is there any additional parameter required in this case? In this case, it's no. So you can see that in the training phase, there is already something called as PCI certified. So the keyword from the intent gets matched with a training phrase, and then it's basically giving this solution as, yes, we are PCI certified. So this is how the keyword matching is done, and this is how the bot functions all these millions of operations using artificial intelligence and comes up with the answer. And this is how this functions in real time. So you can see that I've basically asked the bot the question of like, hey, what are not in scope for PCI? And this bot is now going to come with a very exciting answer. So you can see that the input is basically being typed, what are not in scope for PCI, and the bot basically responds, hey, so these are the different things that are not in scope for PCI. So this is just a very quick demo on how this performs in in real world at real time at Cloudflare. So we had a problem, and this is also a very common problem in the GRC space. And we also found a very fascinating solution for this. And now I have three big takeaways from this whole presentation for the audience. The first big takeaway is like, at Cloudflare, we definitely care about the transparency with our customers, and we definitely care for our customer trust. And that is one of the reasons for us to use artificial intelligence. And in fact, when you see this roadmap, you can see like now we have built this bot to respond to the different queries. But in the future, the roadmap, if you actually look at the roadmap, we actually wanted the bot to directly interact with our customers to improve our transparency and to build more trust. So that's definitely in the roadmap, and we are really looking forward to it. So that's the first big takeaway. And the second big takeaway is like, we are just getting started. This is a very famous phrase from our co-founder, Michelle. And we are very, very happy that we got started. Our compliance team got started with artificial intelligence, and we have already started seeing the benefits of it. And we are really looking forward to seeing how this is going to be for the future run. So we are really excited about it. That's a second big takeaway. And the third big takeaway for the audience is like, artificial intelligence and GRC together makes the best pair. It's just an unbeatable combination. And this is actually kind of a very debatable topic, actually, in the generally the GRC and the security space. But I think AI is a boon to GRC, and it's really important that we use AI very wisely to automate and optimize a lot of GRC processes. And on that note, I'm going to end this presentation. And I take this opportunity to thank each and every person at the GRC team at Cloudflare, and to each and every person on the security team at Cloudflare. We all did this together, and we are very, very happy about it. And we take immense pride in this whole project and presentation. So thank you very much to each and everyone. And thank you very much to each and everyone who listened to this presentation very patiently. If you have any questions, the floor is open now for questions, or else if you want to hit me up later. So these are my email and LinkedIn details in case if you want to chat later on this project. So thank you very much. The floor is open for questions. Awesome. I'm here to answer any questions if you have. Yeah, so the slide deck will be available in the Slack channel. If you actually type the go to the Day of Security Slack channel, the slide deck will be available. So I can post the slide deck and the other resources there. Okay, so I'm getting this awesome question from Patricia. Thank you for this. I wonder if you have experimented with chat ops for security reviews. That's a very interesting question, Patricia, and haven't really looked at security reviews and chat ops, but I think it will be a very interesting place to start, I guess. I think this is. I've not looked at it as the answer, but I'm definitely going to look at it. One of the other areas, actually, yes, where we actually thought we can use the artificial intelligence for security compliance is to review documents. So there are a lot of cases in which you have to review a lot of documents and come up with a decision. So during that cases, so say for example, if there is like a PDF file, and after going through the whole PDF file, and in case if we need to come up with an yes or no questions depending upon a lot of keyword matches, that's also another area where machine learning can be used, or artificial intelligence can be used, and that's one of the areas we are actually looking to work on. But this is just a start, the chatbot for security compliance. Absolutely. I can definitely share the resources in the Slack channel. So you can definitely expect that. So yes, I will definitely share the resources. And in case if you have any questions or anything for me, please feel free to stay in touch with me. My as I shared my details to contact are my first name Aishwarya at cloudflare.com, or if you type this name, this is going to be my LinkedIn name as well, so you can find me in LinkedIn. So I will be very happy to connect and chat anything about artificial intelligence, security engineering, security compliance, and so on. So please feel free to hit me up if you have more questions.